Hello fellow book nerds, Emmy Walker here to do finally my July wrap-up. With Booktubeathon going on, I've been a little bit behind schedule on videos and stuff, so yeah, whatever. But so I collected all my books that I read back in July, and I'm having a hard time remembering what any of them are even about. I don't know if I'm just too sucked into other books at the moment or what, but yeah, it's pretty bad. I was having a really hard time actually focusing on what they were about. So these first 5 books I actually finished during the TBR Takedown at the beginning of the month. So you've already seen that vlog video, so I won't go too in depth with those ones, but I'll at least show you them so you can, if you didn't watch the vlog, you can at least see what books I have read for this last month. This is the first book in the Grisha trilogy. I ended up giving this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't like this one as much as I thought. I enjoyed the story and I really enjoyed the writing. There was just certain things I didn't really like. I also did a full review on this one, so you can also watch that if you'd like. But yeah, I am still going to continue on with the series. I anticipate the series getting better as we go along. Next, during the readathon, I picked up the first 2 books in the series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. This is The Bad Beginning and The Reptile Room. And I gave these both 3 out of 5 stars. They're definitely geared toward younger audiences. I mean, that's what they are, they're middle grade books. But they're still fun and they're weird and there's a lot of weird in there, but they're fun to get through, and I will eventually pick up the rest of the series, I think. I don't know about anytime soon, but maybe someday. Then I picked up The Hunting of the Snark by Lewis Carroll, and this was the one that was written in verse. That's what that covered for one of the challenges for the TBR Takedown. And the biggest reason why I picked this book up in general before even this challenge came about was because of how pretty it is. I don't know if you can see, like the page lining is gold, and it's just a pretty book in general when it comes to a little bookmark on its own. And I mean, it's written in poetry, so it's one of those books that, you know, I can't remember what it's about. It's about going out to sea and they're looking for the snark, obviously, and I can't remember if I think they find the snark, and I can't remember anymore, to be honest with you. It didn't really stick with me clearly, but it's a pretty book. It's just terrible. And then finally for the TBR Takedown, I finished The Magician's Elephant by Kate DiCamillo, and this was a very sweet story about a young boy who discovers that his sister, who he'd been told all of his life, is dead. His parents are dead, but he also finds out that his sister, who is supposed to be dead, is actually alive. And the story is about him going in search of her through, via this mysterious elephant. Oh, and I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. And then finally I finished for my buddy read that I was reading with Keely over at A Bibliophile's Journey. We were supposed to read this in the month of July, but then I pushed it to August, and I finished it. I'm not sure if she did, as she had some troubling times going on right now, but either way, I finally got it done, and that's what's exciting for me, and that's The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. And it's a long book. I don't know if you can see how teeny tiny this writing is. It is so teeny tiny. There's only like 600 and some pages in there, but the writing is so itty bitty, it makes your head hurt. But it's such a good book, and I can't remember if I had done a review on this one, but I remember mentioning somewhere, at least writing it, I don't know, but there's very little that actually happens action-wise in this book, but I found myself so intrigued by everything that happened. There are certain times when Quoth, the main character, I think that's how you say his name, he kind of makes you want to punch him in the face, and he's just this little smug bastard at times, but he grew on me as well, and especially he has the whole sympathy thing for the beginning, so I don't know, I couldn't feel too aggravated with him. But anyway, I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I finished in July was Emerald Green by Kirsten Gear, and this is the 3rd and final book in the Ruby Red trilogy. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy the story, but I find that when I am reading books like these, YA in general, but more specifically geared towards these, if you've read these books, you kind of know the kind of writing style I'm talking about, where it's more fluffy, I guess. But yeah, for these kind of books, I focus more on the story, on the entertainment value, and less on the writing. But as I got further and further into this book, I found myself switching gears and being irked by certain things, such as the really cheesy dialogue. It's not always cheesy, but sometimes it's just like, I kind of like rolling my eyes, especially when it's between like a love type scene, you kind of want to be like, ugh. And then I never really picked up on the fact that these books take place within a couple of weeks, and the love interest, that means that they've fallen in love in just a couple of days. Like, that just seems kind of, I don't know, that seems a little too insta-love for me. Like, really? Like, you're like really passionately like, oh, I love you, and okay, it's been like 3 days. Like, calm down. You're teenagers. But yeah, other than that, what's her name? Main character is Gwen. Gwen herself is a little bit annoying. I liked her when she was by herself, or if she, like when we were in her head when she was by herself, or maybe when she was talking to her friend Leslie. But when she was interacting with any other characters, I hated her. I didn't like the way she thought about other people, particularly Gideon. It was just very like sappy, and I didn't like being in the head of a teenage girl who was so puppy dog love, you know, who thought she was desperately in love with this guy that she met 3 seconds ago. So I don't know, by herself or with her friend Leslie, she was alright. She wasn't so unbearable, but in other situations I kind of wanted to just step out of her head for a few minutes. And the final book I finished for July was Angel Fall by Susan E. Sorry if you can't see that, there you are. Alright, and so this one was a post-apocalyptic world where angels had come down and kind of taken over the human world, and there's pockets of humans still alive and everything, and they're just kind of struggling to just survive. And our main character, who I think his name is Perrin, so it's her mom, and then her sister, and her sister is taken by the angels, and so she's, you know, Perrin goes after them. Now her mom is a bit of a nutcase. She just, even before all the stuff happened with the angels, she just saw, she always saw demons. I think she was schizophrenic, I think is what she is. But the relationship between the mom and Perrin is really cool in its uniqueness. I mean, like there's affection there. You don't really see a lot of their moments together, but like it's more of like memories of her, and there's affection there, and she cares about her daughter, but in the way that she doesn't want to hurt her, but she can't stop herself from hurting her, if that makes any sense. But it's a really cool relationship, and how she follows her around and stuff. And anyway, but yeah, there were a couple of things I didn't like about it. I didn't like how it's, it's not official yet. I haven't finished the other 2 books, so it's possible this may not happen, but I don't really like what's going to possibly happen with Rafi and Perrin, the relationship. I kind of don't want them to get together. If they end up getting together, I'll be kind of pissed, but whatever. But anyway, I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I really need to pick up the next 2. I can't wait to see how this series comes to a close. So there you have my July wrap up. It's a little later than I usually try to get it out, but it's still only the first half of August, so we're doing okay. Let me know down below if you've read any of the books that I read last month, and if you enjoyed them or didn't enjoy them, or what you thought of them at all. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, and we will see you later, book nerds.